Oh my, could it be? Am I live? Looks like audio mic is on. That is good. This is where this needs to be. No, it always moves. It always moves. So bizarre. How bizarre. Like the song, how bizarre. Got some Thai tea. Hope you all got a nice warm warm beverage for this evening. I am tired. I almost passed out right before this, but I told myself, Janjo, you gonna be streaming today. You gonna be streaming. That's just the way it's gonna be. Some ASMR, ASMR. That's good. Talking about Shadow of Infinity today. We did Elemental Energy last week. So for those who haven't seen that, it's on my channel. Go check it out. All the past live streams are all available. And hopefully this should be a fun stream, methinks. Get a few minutes before we get started. Let people arrive. Get comfy. Settle in. What's the rush? So I hope everyone's having a beautiful day. I actually like the Shadow of Infinity set from like an aesthetic point of view. I think there's a lot of cool looking cards. Not necessarily good cards, but that's par for the course when discussing the GX era. But it should be fun. I think we'll start at 5 minutes in at 6:05. I think we'll officially start le ranking. Le ranking. The rank. This rank. Keeping this down. But I'm like, damn, this Thai tea, like the powder mix, put it in some hot water. Oh, it's so good. Any Thai tea enjoyers here? Gosh, I can see the reflection of like the purple light on my monitor. Oh my gosh. It's like I'm in Blade Runner. Anyone ever watched Blade Runner? Like the original? Like Harrison Ford? It's a good movie. I haven't seen it in a while, but I did get a steelbook of it last year. I haven't got around to watching it yet. Unfortunately. I'm just gonna consume this whole thing before we even get to the end. Yeah, like the previous GX sets, and some before, Series 4 really a 60 card set, so not like a ton of cards, but it's a comfy amount. It is a comfy amount. I think we're gonna save the Sacred Beasts until the end because there's not really much like hero stuff. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun. Right. One more minute before we start. Hope everyone's having a beautiful time. Mm. You just gotta enjoy the drink before you start. Like them's the rules. Ah, go on. There we go. Guess we can switch over. Wow. Oh, I gotta change the picture to what do I have on file? Do I have a Haman? No. I got a Uriah, maybe? Do I have any card from this on file? I gotta have one of the Cyber Dragons. I do not. I gotta have at least one of these photos. Karma Cut? I do have Karma Cut. Guess we're doing Karma Cut. Karma Cut it is. Karma Cut it is. And before we start, I do have a little dono goal down there. Uh, $30 is the goal for an anti-meta wind OCG deck profile. We're $5 in for that, but if we get to 30, I'll make it. It'll be a public video, non-exclusive thing, but you'll get an extra video. It won't take up a slot. It'll be just an extra video for the channel. So, you know, if you want to help support the channel and want to get some good content out of it, you know, consider donating towards the cause. But let us start, I guess. So the only one I have here already is Treeborn Frog, because that's definitely the best card of the set. There's, you know, like previous sets, there's always like the one standout, definite S tier, and there's some other ones that I could see like pretty high up. But let's start with Adhesive Explosive, which is like a Blast Sphere kind of card, which is kind of cool. If your opponent attacks this face down card, it equips to it, and it destroys equipped monster during the standby phase of your opponent's next turn. So it's slow, and Blast Sphere does like burn damage, right? So it's kind of like a weak Blast Sphere. Just so I'm like referencing this correctly, because Blast Sphere is just stronger all around. Yeah, it's just a worse Blast Sphere. I guess the plus side is that it is 3 stars. There might be some like wind synergy, attack, and I mean Blast Sphere has 1400 attacks. So that's like good for most metrics. So like I don't hate it. It does get rid of the card, but it's just really slow. I think by like this, the fact that we have Blast Sphere, I'm feeling D. I could hear an argument for C, but it just seems overly slow, right? For like not much reward compared to like so many other cards in the game. Definitely not F. I could see an argument for C. Is it C? Now I'm kind of like backtracking. It is just a very like general card. It doesn't inherently have a downside. Like it doesn't need to stay on like the field like on a specific matter. Just where it doesn't need to be like in a bad position on the field to blow up the monster, you know. So I guess that's kind of a positive. We have a bunch of Ancient Gear cards. Let's save Ancient Gears for a little bit later. Let's talk about Anteater Eating Giant. That's a tongue twister. Anteater Eating Giant. Anteater Eating Giant. Anteater Eating Giant. It has to be special summoned by sending 2 spell or trap cards on your side to the graveyard. Ugh. For a 5-star or 2K monster. Can destroy 1 spell or trap on your opponent's side of the field, but cannot attack the turn. Activate. Like, it's kind of cool you're special summoning, but for 2 cards to potentially pop 1, but then you can't even attack. It's not even that strong, and you can't even normal. Like, it'd be one thing if you could normal summon it with no effect. Or even just like you have to send 1 spell or trap card. Like, is this using anything? Like, it feels like I could see this using something, but without like that knowledge. Yeah, I don't know. I might have to put it in this feels like a D tier card. I feel like if I'm generous for like adhesive, whatever, this thing just seems like it is asking a bit too much for too little. Attack Reflector Unit. Sidra card. I guess we could do Sidra stuff. There's not really much. Tribute one Cyber Dragon on your field to special summon a Cyber Bear Dragon from your hand or deck. So hand or deck is really nice. The question is Cyber Barrier Dragon. Also, I really love the art of Barrier and Laser Dragon, by the way. I have like a soft spot for those cards. I kind of wish they were, I guess spoiler, a bit better. But this guy can only be special summoned via that. Has really high defense, basically it, but makes sense. Barrier Dragon. While it's in attack position, it negates your opponent's first attack. But like, why would you have it in attack position? What, get 800 attack in? Like, I guess you could like limiter removal, but then it's only 1600. Like, it's by all intents and purposes like pretty bad. Like, it's a nice special summon just to get something in defense, and I guess you can potentially like extend the play somehow. You maybe get like Cyber Dragon names or something. Like, at least it has some sort of protection, so it's not like, all bad. I'll just throw this next to it. Because like, you're not gonna play one without the other. So even like the positives for it, like, it ultimately leads towards this card. So I think like as a card, it's probably like C for fine, but the fact that it has to be tied to this, I think, is important. What was the other one? A Photon Generator Unit. By the way, if you're all enjoying the stream, consider dropping a like, because YouTube likes engagement stuff. Let's see. The other one's a Trap, which is pretty slow, but it's good for like, if you need to like react to like a defense thing. This thing is a quick play spell, so very similar, but you can be more proactive with this. But this one, you got to tribute 2 Cyber Dragons. Special summon a Cyber Laser Dragon from your hand deck or graveyard. So you're allowed to be a little more proactive. It can summon from the graveyard additionally, but it costs 2 Cyber Dragons, which is a lot. But you can use something like Barrier. You can use something like Proto, Cyber Twin. So things to keep in mind. Whereas Cyber Laser Dragon, again, really cool art. I love these like early Cyber Dragon support. You can destroy one monster with attack or defense equal to or higher than attack of this card. So this thing can still attack, unlike Anteater and Eating Giant. It has slightly better stats than normal Sidra. And it does deal with stuff that are stronger than it, but I feel like if you're having a go -3 just for this one monster, right? You're ultimately going, what is it, -2? Right, because 2 Sidras and then Photon for like this one card. So yeah, it's -2 for a card that can pop a card once per turn. Like, and it has to be like a stronger monster, so anything weaker it can't pop. Its stats could be better, is what I'll say, but like, stats make sense given its effect. But it just, again, like, it's asking a lot to get it out. Hey, History YGO, what's up? Needs dedicated deck. Yeah, I think, because I've made a Perfect Circle Sidra deck, and I threw these in just for like the fun of it. I don't know what I want to give this. Like, I'm feeling C or D. Because I feel like if you tie in the Photon thing, because it does cost a lot to get it out, like, you're probably better off with just 2 Cyber Dragons. Got to be used for Chimera Turbo. Yeah, that's I kind of mentioned that with Bear, that you could use it for like like fusion plays and stuff. I feel like if I'm being honest, it's probably a D. I feel like I could potentially give it a C. Because I feel like the use of it inherently is fine, but Photon is general unit. Like, that's the bad part. I feel like kind of the opposite of this. Whereas this one's a little bit more limited because it's a trap. It can't spawn from the graveyard like Photon can. But then you're getting like a monster that it's just a big wall. Whereas at least with this thing, when you get it out, it can pop a card. It has slightly higher stats to do stuff. And I feel like this is like the exception where I would like tie them together. But I could also, this is a little tricky. I could see a little argument for the wall, the unit, especially someone from hand or deck, which is just like it's as general like good summoning for this thing as you can. So I feel like I'm going to settle with this. I think these are kind of like in reverse, right? Where barrier and its trap are kind of balanced in the wrong way, and the same thing with the other one, but like reverse order. Yeah, we have Proto Cyber Dragon. But still, like getting these things out and like treating like Reflector Unit using one is perfectly fine. Like I have no issue with Reflector Unit, but it's just the two is kind of that's kind of pushing it, and I feel like you kind of want something a little stronger. We do have Proto Cyber Dragon in this set. It's just Cyber Dragon on the field. But you can't use Machine Dupe on this thing, which kind of sucks, right? Because it's like 500 or less attack. But there are ways to like search it out. Seal or miniaturize. What did miniaturize? Are you talking about shrink? No, miniaturize. Target one monster with 1,000 with more than 1,000 original attack as a level. Reduced by 1, also lose out attack. I mean, I guess. Seal? Baby. Like Guardian Seal? Or Shooting Star Bolt. Lose 1,000 attack, but can attack directly. Inferno Reckless Summoning. Yeah. I mean, I don't hate Pro Cyber Dragon. Like, in terms of early Cyber Dragon, just having more Cybers to use. Like, this is like the idea of the deck, right? Is kind of use Cyber Dragon and the Sky to get, like, the transformations out, right? Like laser and like the fusions. So like in terms of them attempting to do this as a deck, I mean, again, there's nothing inherently wrong about Proto Cyber Dragon. In terms of just like it exists to be like another number. And for that it works. Like it's obviously not Cyber Dragon, but it's Proto. Right? It's designed to be weaker in some capacity. That makes sense. I don't think there's any other Cyber Dragon support in this set. It's kind of a shame. Yeah, we can do these two. These finally get cards. Cyber Barrier? Is that in this? We did talk about Cyber Barrier Drag. We talked about that a little earlier. Which I had some of the same thoughts of that for like Chimera Tech and doing stuff with it. Princess Curran, another card that can only be special summon with Trial of the Princess. Let's read Trial of Princess first. Okay, so you have to equip to like the baby stuff, which was in one of the previous sets. Increase the attack by 800 during a turn that they're destroyed by a level 5 or higher monster by battle. By tributing the equipped monster and this card Wait. Increase attack, you equip it to one of those, increase attack by 800. And when they're destroyed by battle, by tributing the equipped monster in this card. Wait, how does that work? If they're destroyed, you can't tribute it. Special summon your hand or deck, one Princess Pikachu, if you tributed, White Magician, or one. Okay, so whichever one you get, like the like the upgrade one. Hey, Kari, what's up? Nice, just got home. Heck yeah. I'm confused on this effect. If it's destroyed by battle, but then you can't tribute it. Am I missing something here? Is this like worded differently somewhere else? Okay, the up. It looks like there is updated text. You can tribute the equipped monster. Okay, so I guess you're just allowed to do what it does. Oh, I'm a big dummy. I'm a big dumb dummy. I'm reading this as the monster gets destroyed, not the other way around. Oh, I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, but I was like about to like pass out, or like I was on the couch. I was like long day of just working. I'm a big dumb dummy. Anyway, okay, so the Geet boost. Um, Out of curiosity, what's Pikaru's normal attack? 1200. Okay, and Eben is also 12. Okay, so they both get to 2K normally. So stats are the same. They go up a level. Yeah, Eben does slight burn damage, and Pikachu heals a little bit. Okay. Okay. We're up to date. We're up to date. During standby phase and does okay, so it just does a little bit more burn damage. I think the other one does a little bit more healing. Okay. They really need just more attack, I think. Why just keep the same attack, but their effects are already kind of like eh. Like 600 burn isn't that good. Like it could be worse. Like at least it is technically giving like an upgrade, but again, you're losing 2 cards for 1. And the it's from hand or deck, so it's you don't have to hard draw into it. But it is like it has to be only like strong monsters, and to get that is also pretty difficult because their attack are only 2K. So I feel like it could be better. It could definitely, I guess, like that's the thing. Like, could it even be worse? That's the thing. Because like the worst would be that it just does the same, but then that wouldn't even like exist as a card. Like I definitely think this thing is an F. Because I think that trying to get them out with this thing to beat over like a high monster is pretty bad. But at least like it's like you get something that burns and whatever. It's not the worst design card, but I think the equip's like really bad. Level 5 condition. Yeah, I get why it's level 5 because like they beat a big monster, then they become the the princesses. Like that's the shtick behind it. But these things just needed like more attack. I think that's like ultimately it. I think current is worse. I mean, at least this one does burn damage. I mean, yeah, you can do like scapegoat stuff with this. You can also do like burn stuff with this. With like Ojama Trio. Pikaru. I do really like the Pikaru like Eben like art line. Yeah, for each monster control, yeah, but you can use like Ojama Trio and whatever. Maybe use just like stun cards. Like you can build around it. Have like a burn thing. It's also an interesting thing I noticed when downloading all these cards this morning. Um, Find an example of it. Yeah, there's a lot of these kind of cards. Yeah, like I'm not saying like it's a great card, like obviously stuff like Desserts and Barrel and Nightmare Wheel and anything is better. But I think they're both D tier cards at the end of the day. Um, we get a lot of these cards that gain effects by having multiple copies in the graveyard. Like there's like a few of these. So I think we should talk about them. Like, but the thing is, like, even with like Pikachu, is like, yeah, you can do stuff to heal, but then like, what's the heal doing, right? Unless you're playing some, uh, like bad reaction deck. The Thai tea, so good. Grass Phantom's interesting. Like, I look at this and I think it would be like an Earth zombie or something. What does Grass Phantom do? I know about Tapple and Death Frog. Grass Phantom increase the attack of this card by 500 points for each Grass Phantom in the graveyard. So if you have two, it's at 2k attack. So, if you have a way to get two of them in the graveyard, you have a 2k beater. Otherwise, it's a 1k attack and a 15 attack. So not great, because like the advantage you would want. It's like it's too little, too late, right? Because you need two, then you just essentially have like one monster that can do what it's able to do. Like, can you use I'm like, I guess you could, when it eventually comes out, do something with like Miracle Fertilizer, but that's next to be lost. That's not what I'm thinking of, is it? Is that like that Exodia card? No, never mind. Yeah. That next to be lost is also in this set, funnily enough. Send out one card from your deck to your with the same name. See, it has some synergy with stuff. Hey, Tripper Tasker, what's up? When is Gene Werewolf comes out? It's first UK beater, right? Is that in the set? I don't think so. Let's strike a Neos. So not quite there yet. Strike a Neos is be a bit before we get there. Got like 4-ish sets. Yeah, Grass Phantom, in terms of like things it does. All right, I'm seeing 2Cs. All right, let me try and find the other monsters that I'm gonna start from the beginning because I know there's like a few and I don't remember all of them. There's a Beel's Frog. This one gains 300 for every tadpole in the graveyard. I believe we talked about tadpole already. Screech. 300. So at least this thing, right? 15, 18, 21. So at least this thing can become big. and you don't need like, and you can use other copies of Beel's Frog. So this one seems a bit better. I believe Tadpole. Tadpole. Yeah, that was Cybernetic Revolution. When destroyed by battle, you can add other copies from the deck to your hand. So, like with Beel's Frog, you actually have ways to get into like multiple tadpoles to like boost its effect. I would say this is B. It seems like it's the the best use of like the effect mechanic. I've no opinion on Beel's Frog. I never played it because it wasn't level 2. Yeah, like you're not gonna really see this in like you're probably not gonna see this in frog decks. I don't think you do. But in terms of like what it's going for, it goes for like it reaches a lot better than like a lot of the other cards. But what were some of the other cards? The earliest of frog decks. I'm trying to. I don't remember the exact ones that have that weird effect. So I'm gonna have to like scrub through this. Was that it? Was it just the 2? I thought there was more. I thought there was more. Well, I guess we can talk about Next to Be Lost because it's it ties in with that. A near vanilla that needs 3 cards to get 200 attack. A lot of GX stuff is bad. A lot of GX stuff is bad. But I think the fact, like, in terms of like the design, like it's a lot better than what we've seen with like Grass Phantom, basically. Like it allows you to play like multiple 2100 beaters in like whatever strategy you're playing, with really no other downside. Especially if you have a card like this next to Be Lost, I can like work with it. And yeah, there's gonna be slim pickings. Like I think generally this is a good card because it doesn't cost anything aside from itself. Like it doesn't need you like tribute the card, and it essentially it's just a specific foolish burial. Um, that way it is, but it is like you do need the target, so I think B is probably fine. I don't think I've like seen this card get played, but I was actually like looking at it not too long ago because it looked kind of interesting. It's like a weird foolish burial. Hmm. How about Gokipon? Amaryllis. Oh gosh, Amaryllis. I have no idea how to play against that deck in like Gigaplant, in like Edison format. Like I entered this like Edison tournament back in the summer. It was like the first deck I went up against. I'm like I did not prepare for this. I did not prepare against the big plant. Gokipon, when it's destroyed by result of battle in the graveyard, add 1 insect type monster with 1500 less from deck to hands. Okay, so it's a recruiter, insect recruiter. This seems pretty decent actually. It adds max C. Okay. I'm I'm a little considering A because it is just uh insect Sangan. It's Insangan? Insectgan? There are more deserving cards for A, B. I see an A, I see a B. Yeah, it's like a goblin zombie. But Goblin Zombie's better though. A. Seen two A's. All right. You know, since we did the frog, let's talk about D3S frog, Des frog, Des nuts. Um, and DD guide has to be A. All right, we'll get to DD guide. Um, 3 Des frogs. Good luck playing this. The above fusion summon of this card can only be conducted with above fusion material monsters. Increase attack of this by 500 points for each treeborn frog in your graveyard. Yeah, I mean, most formats treeborn frogs like at 1, but I suppose in this like first format, Bab, I like the art. It does have cool art. I like the little like treeborn frogs in the background. A little frog down here. Down here too. And any secret frogs? There's a frog there. It's like Gamma Bunta. Ah. Yeah, it seems pretty bad. Because usually you're not running like many treeborn frogs, and usually when you're running treeborn frog, you're going to be running like tribute monsters to make use of it. Tearlaments. Just wait till I start talking about Tearlaments. Which I actually have talked about it on stream before. In a Top Deck Guys stream. B Sox and I played Tearlaments. D. Yeah, D's fine. It's not an F. Like, it technically has an effect to make it strong, and that's the only thing, really. So I can't harp on that. Let's look at the DD guide. When this card is normal summoned, control of this card shifts to your opponent. During each player's end phase, your opponent selects one card from the graveyard of this card's controller and removes it from play. That's kind of silly. That's kind of silly. So, like, it's like a tennis game of banishing graveyard cards. Mystic Mine. Oh my gosh. I just finished doing the video about Mystic Mine. Was it Sky Striker format or Eternal format? Whichever one I finished. Oh my gosh. That's a funny interaction. Did people play as a Mystic Mine? Because I don't. Because obviously, like, like Sky Striker decks was like the big one. Like, I don't want to give this guy an A. And once it got hit. I mean, for something that's like, I mean, everyone was trying everything in their mother to like stop Mystic Mine, or or trying to break Mystic Mine type of thing. Yeah, but Gokipon is just a searcher. Like that's just like generically good for a whole type. Like, I can put this guy in B. I don't have an issue with that. Hey, don't be mad because you got outvoted for Gokipon. This card is awful. Do Fortnite tracker for showing me slow graveyard hate. I mean, it does have like unique interactions with it, though. I'm also a sucker for like silly cards, and it is a silly card. I don't know if it comes off on stream at all, but I got blonde highlights recently. Like, in the light, my hair looks really blonde. Like it probably was used for like. Did people play this as like Kashtira Fenrir stuff? Because people played Mushroom Man number 2 for like the same reason, right? To give your opponent a card so like you can play something. Like in this format, you could summon this guy and then give your opponent special summon Cyber Dragon and attack over it or do whatever. Ooh, do you want to talk about Demise, King of Armageddon? Big fan of this card. Are we evaluating this card by modern day or at the time? It's like a mix of both. At the time, uh, how it lasts, um, just general card design. The only thing I'm not really keeping in mind, just for the sake of simplicity's sake, is like OCG and like Speed Duel, and that like Duel Links and that kind of like outside TCG related stuff because that affects stuff so much. It would just be impossible to make like a real list. Uh, yeah. So I say this once a stream because it always comes up, and since at least I know at least I know the spiel by now. No CGD, I would be a C or D. Like I can see the benefits of it being played like more than a lot of the other cards at least. Demise. It's a little hard with Demise because like I feel like the thing that really enables Demise is like Megamorph. Yeah, mine got hit pretty. I mean, mine is such a insane. That was a crazy time to be alive. It was very fun because I actually was playing Yu-Gi-Oh. During Mystic Mine, which was summer 2019. Yeah, advanced ritual art. Yeah, so it makes Demise a little tricky because like I could see an argument for S, but again, yeah, it was kind of because of like the deck as it was in that like first half of 2007 period. Because when we saw the deck by like late 2008 where Megamorph was limited, you could still play it, but it was not the same. S on release. Because like, pay 2,000 life points for all cards on the field except for itself. Like it's a good effect. It's really good. Yeah, it costs a lot, but it destroys a lot. Especially in an era like where priority was still a concept. Because when did SOI come out? 2006. It took about a year, I would argue, for it to see play. Roughly a year. Because it really saw play in like Trooper format, which was 07. But still, like when it did become meta, like I mean, this was the card, right? That ultimately, like, the reason why you played it, right? Because of advanced ritual art, because it could blow up everything to allow for like Megamorph. So I don't want to take away by saying it didn't put in the work because I'm not saying like it could have been like any ritual card. When I started seeing play history, yeah. So I mean, like of all the cards from this set, like it feels like Demise is the other big one. Yeah, Treeborn Demise. Yeah, I kind of have the same thought. So okay, I'm gonna put an S. Dumble Blue Eyes. That's fun. I've seen deck profiles, uh, like way back, in like the GX meta where they use like jank stuff like Trihorn Dragon and Cosmo Queen. End of the World I'm gonna put End of the World in A only because I like to tie the two together. But obviously, with like Demise is like a weird thing where it's like it's really more advanced ritual art, and its ritual spells kind of like it's just generic ritual. Yeah, like I wouldn't pay. Yeah, I wouldn't put the ritual spell like any lower. Like if it's not tied to it, it's got to be somewhere like around it. And I think this is kind of one of those like rare instances. Like yeah, like yeah, you would still probably like obviously like when you saw like the demise go 7 deck, you still like might see like one in it. Just if you need to summon it. But that was kind of more of like a safety thing. Thing for like consistency than not. I mean, I if you want to make the argument, just throw it in S just to put them together. Like I would hear the argument. What the heck was the Queen of Ruin? What was her name? The one I always forget. Ruin is just Ruin. Like you don't really even see people play like modern demise decks outside of like casual stuff. Um, Ruin's pretty good. It's also someone's off of End of the World, which is cool that like they both use the one. I think that's pretty like good design for that, not like separate ones. It can attack twice, it destroys a monster. It has okay attack, but the fact that it can get 2 attacks in can be strong. Um, yeah, I would say B. Yeah, it's like a blackluster queen. Black Oblivion queen. It's like a sandwich between these. Yeah, it's a little weak, but that's just because of its like attack, and it's supposed to be weaker demise. But you can make use of it. It can be strong. It's a good like alternative that can still get summoned off of the same ritual spell. So it's good in that regard. Hmm. Agenda rituals. Those things are kind of nutty. Remember the Necros? Remember those guys? Saber Beetle does not look like a tribute monster, but they're about between this and okay, it just does piercing. Eh, I guess for an insect, it's whatever. Like C, it's like a 1 tribute, good enough attack, does piercing. Yeah, it's just Dark Triceratops, but for insects. It's fine. It's fine. Samsara. I've actually seen some people mess around this card. I want to say in like Edison. Monster cards tributed for a ritual summon are returned to the owner's deck instead of being sent to the graveyard and shuffle. Because you can use it with like advanced ritual art. Yeah, no, I wouldn't put this in B. Like maybe if this was, I don't know, like 2003. So this is definitely has like a neat idea behind the card. Because again, you can like again for like advanced ritual art would be like the big play with this thing, but also just essentially just sits there. Um, yeah, you can recycle the searchers. I guess the big issue is that yeah, it technically just like it doesn't do anything like on activation, right? Or if you don't have the stuff. But I definitely like the idea of the card. But it's just like very specific. I'm saying B, C, or D. That's a wide range of this card. Um, I feel like we can meet in the middle. Yeah, it's okay recycling. It could be better. Like I feel like it has room for some additional thing. Like I don't know. Like maybe draw a card when you ritual summon a monster. Yeah, I think I've seen like one person mess around with it like on YouTube before. But I think there's a reason why people haven't really adopted it. Sand Moth. When this face down defense position monster destroys to the graveyard, so battle, switch the attack and visit this card, special summon it to your side of the field. When this face down, sorry. I think I'm going blind. When this face down defense position card destroys the graveyard, except as a result of battle. So let's say randomly you set it, your opponent Raigeki breaks it. But then, okay, so it's attack and defense switch, and then it comes back to your field with 2,000 attack. Okay. It's annoying that it has to be face down, because if your opponent attacks into it not knowing what it is, then this whole plan goes to shite. It seems kind of bad. Never saw this card played. Neither have I. Why is it a moth? I don't know. Yeah, like 2K defense with the potential of getting a 2K attacker. D. I just think like its effect is just really annoying. Like it's nice that you can proc it, yeah, because you could like TT it or like Raigeki break, but that seems like a really bad play. Like unless you need it to TT the board, and you just have this card, but then it's like you're already putting yourself in a bad spot. Hey Lee, what's up? Made a spicy fun Joey deck. If he didn't use Red Eyes, oh nice. Yeah, because I think this thing like technically like you could play around with it, and at worst it's just a defender. So I don't think it's an F. I'm surprised I haven't seen more like F tier stuff. Honest. Let's run it back. Let's run it back. At the top of the hour, we will talk about Ancient Gears. That's what I'm saying now. Another BES card. Another BES. Put 2 counters on this when you normal summon it. The 2 tributes, 2,500 attack. Not sure what result of battle. If it battles a monster, toss a coin, call it in a damage step. Call it wrong, remove a counter. Is that it? The card battles without a counter, it's destroyed. So it gets no additional benefit. Just not destroyed by battle potentially twice, but I guess you get the benefit of it could maybe keep its counters. It's like 7. So it's a 2 tributes for 2,500, Dark Magician type of thing. I feel like YGO is more positive on these cards. This one seems pretty bad because it doesn't get any like benefits aside from it can't destroy by battle. But like, how often is that going to come up with monster? Like it has decent attack, right? So like that might not come up often, and I guess technically you have a chance of it just keeping its counters in perpetuity. And at least it has 2 counters. Only when you normal summon it. But with Boss Rush, which was in the last set, Um, you can special summon it out, but then it won't get its counters with boss rush. So it just dies. So that seems pretty lame. Yeah, you can't normal summon it with boss rush unless you summon it like beforehand. And then but if it's summoned via boss rush, like special summon it, it doesn't get its effect. Or it doesn't get its counters. So like it doesn't really gel with the game plan of the deck. If you normal summon it, uh it's yeah. I'm gonna say D. I think technically the fact that it can theoretically like protect itself is like okay-ish. It's not F. Like its effect, I won't say it's F. I think it's like synergistic with the deck. I would argue is an F. But I think like the card as it is, it's like it's pushing it. It's pushing it. Let's see. Chainsaw Insect. BEF Zelos. Right. Wikipedia is such a website. But that doesn't come out till 2017. It only gives it one counter, so it gets like one chance, one opportunity. One shot, one opportunity. Like, I guess you could skill it. I don't know. But Chainsaw Insect. When this card battles a monster, your opponent draws one card at the end of the damage step. I guess you could skill drain. Appropriate. Is that from Pharaoh's Servant? It is Pharaoh's Servant. Your opponent draws a card at the draw phase. Each time your opponent draws a card, you draw 2 cards. That's kind of funny. Yeah, only if you lose the coin toss wrong, but it's just like a random effect. Yeah, this thing seems kind of funny. B uses my Exodia Propia deck 2009. I think because it seems like you can do a lot of fun stuff with it, I'm going to say B. It seems like a fun card. Chain Thrasher. It kind of looks like a GB Hunter a little bit. In addition to a normal attack, can attack as many times the number of Chain Thrashers in graveyard. Okay, so this is another card, like Grass Phantom I was kind of talking about, where it works stuff with like things in the graveyard. So theoretically, it can attack 3 times for direct 3k damage. Generation Shift. That's in this set. Not. Okay, that kind of ties in a little bit. Yeah, let's. We don't play the Chain Link. Think cards never did. I mean, there's like Chain Burn. That's something you ever looked into. I mean this thing. Tyrant Neptune. Isn't Neptune currently banned? It's been banned like for a while for like OTKs. It was a cool card in the GX manga. I kind of want to give this guy a C. like, the ability to get a bunch of attacks in is great. It does have like no attack, but you can also like boost it with stuff, right? Like, imagine this with an Axe of Despair or like United We Stand. Like, that seems kind of nutty, doesn't it? It's a warrior, so you can search it. Like, slap down a giant Trunade. Like this guy with the Axe of Despair, and all of a sudden it's, yeah, you can do like a Ben K kind of thing with this guy. Where's my Chain Thrasher OTK? I kind of want to give this thing a B. Do I dare give Chain Thrasher a B? Chat, what do you think? Am I overhyping it? Always remember to say hydrated. Hydration's good. The deck can be built. It's okay to get a B even if it's overhype. Okay, that felt like kind of a dig. That kind of felt like a dig. I'm trying to like Yu-Gi-Oh cards, okay? I'm just trying to like Chain Thrasher. Look at him, he has a holster. I think because it's on par with Beazle Fry at least. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. All right, do you want to talk about Generation Shift? We'll talk about Generation Shift. Then we'll talk about Doom Dozer, and then we'll move on to Ancient Gears. Generation Shift. Destroy when face a monster inside the field. Add one card from the deck to your hand with the same name as the destroyed card. Again, it's this weird like sub theme going on in Shadow of Infinity. But this time, as opposed to Next to Be Lost, is when you destroy a card, but then you can like add one. So there are things you could do with this. It's a little break glass in case of emergency type of card. Whether it's maybe something's going to be destroyed or stopped by like a certain card, you have a way to like refresh it in a kind of weird way. I don't think it's particularly good, only because it is like specific. Amazon is Village. Well, that's just a better Generation Shift. B tier feels really similar to the other card released, Ubel. The thing with Next to Be Lost, though, it's just like a foolish, right? It doesn't require you to destroy a card you already have. But I guess it technically does like set up the following play. So I guess in that regard, it ties into it. And by the way, for those watching, no card on this list is like, this isn't by card by card. Like, I'm not saying Treeborn is better than Demise or whatever. It's just pure plain vanilla tiers. But don't cry until the ending. Okay, I'll give it a B. I think y'all are hyping it up enough. So I want to talk about Doom Dozer only because it's tangentially tied into Demise. Enable strategy using cards, same name, engraver. Yeah, it seems to be like fuel for that. Doom Dozer needs to use special summon by removing 2 insect monsters from your graveyard, which typically in Demise decks it's like Neobug or Insect Knight. When it inflicts battle damage, send 1 card from the top of your opponent's deck to the graveyard. Really good stats. Fairly easy special summon in the deck that it does. It is rather specific, so I don't think it's S, but A. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's good. Just get a big Insect Boy out. Do you want an Insect deck is really fun? That's just like a casual deck. Giant Ballpark. I'm like a big, giant ballpark fan. I mean, it is like kind of a relative core card, like Demise decks, which was meta, and also yeah, it is good for like insect stuff. Yeah, let's talk about Ancient Gears. By the way, it's been an hour, so I have a goal down there, for an OCG anti-meta win deck profile. Right, if we hit that goal, y'all get an extra free video, relative free. It'll be on the main channel, extra video for an OCG deck profile. That's a really spicy deck, and I'm hoping we can eventually get there. Consider supporting the channel. Let's see, Ancient Gear Cannon, contribute for 500, and then neither player can activate traps in the battle phase this turn. I mean, it's nice that it like stops traps, but there's just better cards for that. When I get a job, I plan on donating. I really want to donate 25 right now. Hey, focus on getting a job. Job's important. And I'm sure you'll find that perfect job one day. The creator can use this. I'd rather play Ukazi. I'd rather play like Cannon Soldier, which is also a machine. Yeah. A lot of Ancient Gears kind of have like backward protection, kind of. It seems like I don't think any Ancient Gear deck ever plays Cannon, right? I'm gonna say like Inferno Reckless Summoning. Or a machine dupe. You can use machine dupe on this thing for 1500. Inferno Reckless Summoning. Okay, I'll give this guy a C. I think I might have given him a D originally, but there are ways to get it out. Potentially do stuff with it. Ancient Gear Castle. Castle my asshole. I said it. I said what I said. Increase the attack of each face up. Is there like a hair on this card? What the heck is it? What is this? It's like a hair on the. Increase the attack of face monster field that includes Ancient Gear by 300. It's fine. Each time a monster is normal, summon or set puts a counter. You can tribute monster includes Ancient Gear. You can use the counters on this. You can substitute this card for a tribute if the number of counters equal or greater to. Okay, so you tribute this card if it has, like, let's say 2 counters. It's not bad in terms of getting out. Like, it's, it is slow, but it does at least have a default buff, which isn't bad. Yeah, you can just 2 summons and you get. It's not, it's either player that summons that adds a counter, which is kind of nice for it. Yeah, it's no special summoning, but still, like normals, you're probably going to get there in 2 turns. B, but I'd actually say close to A. Now, why do you say that? I'm thinking B. I think there's just generally just better stuff, but yeah, it's not bad. Ancient Gear Drill. You can activate this by discarding 1 card from your hand, while a monster includes Ancient Gear. It's on your field. Select a spell card from your deck and set it to your field. You cannot use that spell this turn. Okay, so you just pitch a card and you get any spell card? This seems kind of busted. Yeah, I think I recall seeing this in like old Ancient Gear decks. Is this also a B? Like, yeah, it's you are kind of like you do need a lot. It uses a lot. You can't use it like the turn immediately. But it does just get you anything, which seems really good. Like, you know, it just gets you, oh, I just let me pick Future Fusion. Let me pick Painful Choice and Raigeki. Pod agreed. And you could use Giant Trunade. You could also use Heavy Storm if you chose a. Wait, no, I think of something else. Think of something else. So what do you think about this? B? I'm thinking B. I feel like if Fortress or Castle, whatever it was, Castle is B, I'm thinking this at least needs to be a B as well. Yeah, we're actually getting surprising number of Bs. Now we still have chunk of the set. Factory. Let's see. You pick an ancient gear in your hand. You show it. Move from play. Cards in graveyard that include ancient gear in their names, whose levels total equal to double the selected cards. You don't have to tribute when you normal summon this turn. Okay, so if you wanted to summon Ancient Gear Golem off of this thing, you need to banish up levels up to 16. If you do like a 5, like is Ancient Gear Beast like 5 or 6? Either way, that'd be 10 to 12. But you have to banish a lot. I mean, I guess you could use like the return setup. It feels like it's asking a lot though. Even for like plays like that, when you could, I don't know. Because like you really need setup for this thing. Like you can't use this thing like for the first few turns, most likely. And like you only really want to use it for tribute stuff, and like what Ancient Gear Beast is 6. So you need either a lot of stuff or some big stuff already in the graveyard. I'm thinking D, because like I see the banishment setup stuff, but it feels like you really have to work just to get there. Then just Ancient Gear flat. While an Ancient Gear is face up on your side of the field, you can special summon this card from your hand attack position. It seems, it's like a weird Sidra thing. You can use Infernal Reckless Summoning or Machine Dupe. I think people play this in like decks. Yeah, like Ancient Gear stuff. Maybe like I think like one of in like modern stuff maybe. Magnet Circle level 2. It's also in the set. B? B maybe? Probably. Maybe. Yeah, we can talk about Magnet Circle level 2. Special summon one level 2 or lower machine type monster from your hand. So you can use this with, this guy. You can use it with this guy as well. I mean, it's just a free special summon, which I think is pretty good. It is specific. Like it just one card to get something small out. I can't say it's like inherently great, but it feels like another B tier card. You keep bringing up Inferno. What set did that even come out in? Duels Pack, Chaz Princeton. Okay, so it would have been out by this point. It's February 2006. Despots. Oh man, Despots. I haven't heard that name in a long time. That was like the affordable Pendulum deck for a bit. I think this is a perfectly fine card. Let's just keep going down this. Cyclone Boomerang. Not Cyclone? And as I mentioned at the start of the stream, we will be saving the Sacred Beast for the end. Just a little heads up for that, in case you were wondering why we haven't tackled those yet. We're saving them. Big finale. Very nice, very evil finale. It equips to Wild Heart, gains by 500 attack, so it gets to 2k. All right, fine with that. When the equipped monster is destroyed by a card effect, which remember, it has trap protection during battle, I believe. And sent to the graveyard, destroy all spells and traps, or just heavy storms the field. 100 points of damage to your opponent for each card destroyed by the effect. I mean, yeah, you're not going to play this in like a deck that you're, playing Wildheart in, but like, if you're playing like something casual, you can do it yourself, yeah. Like Heavy Storm or, Raigeki Breaker or whatever. Okay, Wildheart is always immune to all traps. So it just makes me even... So this just makes him even more riskier to, like, take care of. Because now he's good on traps, more attack, so now... Because 15 to 2k is, like, a reasonable upgrade. And then your opponent has the threat of, like, hey, you could just Heavy Storm the field. I think this is pretty good. A lot better than the, like, Spark Blaster or, like, Feather Shot. Like, I think this is another B. I'm a little surprised at Shadow of Infinity. Yeah, because Wild Heart's good. It only helps. It compounds. It compounds. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Holy moly. I thought you said you didn't have the money. You liar. Oh my gosh. Hey, Kari Ferrari. Thank you for the $25 dono. Janjo Goat. Smiley face. Thank you. You are the duelist. Now, only if this thing would ever, like, update. But I think I can update this manually. Maybe. Where are the C's? Yeah, we haven't had too many C's. Can this tip thing load up? That's fine. I have this for a reason. Yabadoo. Can I make like a shape? Can I do like a little colored shape layer on Streamlabs? Color block. Yes, support the community. I mean, I don't put goals too often. So like, when I have one, I want to make it like, something that you all would get in return, not just like, give me money to, help fund the channel. Okay, I'm gonna color drop this. And then I'm gonna this is so janky. If I do if I do this. Okay. We're working somewhere. Yes, thank you for supporting the best. Oh my god. I'm trying to think and talk. Thank you for supporting the best retro Yu-Gi-Oh channel on there we go, on the YouTubes. Okay. It's a little jank, but I figured it out. Yes, yes, yes. Guess I gotta buy those cards now. They have legit been like sitting in my like eBay shopping cart. I'm not gonna buy it until you get that goal. But now I gotta think of another goal for next time. That's very, very exciting. Very exciting stuff. So again, thank you for that. Reached the goal. Haven't reached a goal in a while, so it's a nice feeling to. Gosh, my computer just decided to be really loud. It can be a dueling book. Nah. I used to do those. I don't know if you watched my stuff like way back when, before I started doing these like OCG stuff. They were dueling book deck profiles. But I like to up the production value. With because I'm a professional video producer for like my day job, so like make stuff look good. I feel like if you're doing like a cool deck profile, because especially like there's so many channels on YouTube that do deck profiles. That's why I kind of stopped doing it, because it's like you got so many great people that already do profiles. So when I decided to bring them back, I was like, well, I don't want to just do like a general one. I kind of want to, I did my research. I watched various channels of the deck profiles. I kind of took bits and pieces from that. In terms of like what like structures and things that like some like the bigger channels do that, like maybe like the small like other ones don't. And so I like doing like the physical stuff, because I like actually the physical cards. It's like the only thing I can show them off, like my videos doing. I mean, I think I wouldn't be opposed to doing like dueling book profiles for maybe if I'm doing like other format stuff. I think like OCG related, since a lot of people like watching that stuff. Nice to like kind of like showcase that. Now, obviously, like there's some OCG stuff that's really hard to show off because some of them are stuck in Japan, and that's why I haven't done this win profile yet, because some cards are in that deck like are only in OCG. So, yeah, I mean, I get away with just doing dueling book profiles, sure, but I make this YouTube stuff way harder than it needs to be. But hopefully, it feels like people like the videos, and hope the work shows for itself. Yeah, I did not expect when I started doing like Yu-Gi-Oh content that like OCG would become my thing, but here we are. Well, not this stream specifically, because it's Shadow Infinity, but OCG oriented. Let's just say that. Anyways, damage condenser. That was a long tangent, but I think it was a worthy tangent. I'd rather just like talk, honestly. I like just talking to y'all. That's why I brought the streams back. I actually really like this card. I've used this in like fun decks before. You discard a card when you take battle damage. Special monster from your deck with attack equal to less damage token attack. So this is actually like a pretty decent card. Because like if you're playing like weak if you're playing a deck that has weak monsters, you can basically get like a lot of things out. Now, obviously, the problem is you discard a card, and it's more dependent on your opponent doing stuff. I mean, you could trigger it on your own if you wanted to. And it is a trap, so it's like a little bit slow. But yeah, it can potentially summon like anything. And like I would argue, like given relative to this set, I think it is a card that you would see in like a rogue casual deck more often than like a lot of these other cards. I would say B because they didn't do anything. Hmm. Hmm. Because I think it's like hmm. Like I'm feeling A. It feels like I'm seeing arguments for B. Because like I'm looking at this like what the card can do. It's kind of like Gokipon in that way, right? Like even though the card doesn't necessarily need to see like a lot of play, I think it's just like inherently like a good designed card. And I think it's more useful than like anything in B, except maybe like you might could argue Ruin. I I think we could use a few more A's. I don't. There might only be like maybe two more, two three more. Disciple of the Forbidden Spell. If you ask me what this did in a Jeopardy game, I could not tell you the answer to that. When it's normal summoned, flipped, or special summon, that's cool. Everything. Uh, declare different declare different monster card attributes equal to the number of these guys in the graveyard. Again, another one of these like uh mob cards. So you can potentially pick up to two different attributes. Uh, if this card attacks a monster that has a declared attribute, destroy a monster out from damage calculation. It has good attack. I don't understand its name. It has nothing to do with a spell. It's not Curse Sealed Forbidden Spell. Yeah, level 4 1700 attack that no matter how it's summoned, um can essentially just immediately destroy two different attributes, not types, attributes. This feels really solid. This feels like this feels surprisingly good. Can destroy the Egyptian gods via effect. Yeah, you can't pick divine. You could pick light and dark, earth, fire. You know, obviously, even if you have one, right? A lot of decks you tend to go up against might be running just like the one attribute, right? Like if you're playing against, I don't know, machines, right? It's probably gonna be like all earth. And it's not like face up or face down, it just attacks. This is a Catastor if you have one in the graveyard. Yeah, it's just a normal summonable Catastor that can be searched with reinforcements of the army? Is this like a sleeper hit card? What's going on here? DNA transplant? Oh my god. What is this card? Did we just find like the ancient tombs of the sleeper of the century? What do you think? What are we thinking of this thing? Well, Catastor destroys. Is it everything non-dark? Or was it just dark? Non-dark monsters. Okay, yeah, you're right. I mean, the requirement is that you. I mean, if you got one, like, I mean, theoretically, you're not facing every single attribute. Like, yeah, there are some decks that might, depending on the meta. Okay, I'll say this. Let's say B until further notice. I, because I would say it's on the same level as like these two guys in terms of this plan, but it seems like I could see it be bumped up to an A in a different timeline. I've never heard of this card, and I'm admittingly shocked that it seems like not awful. It's so fascinating to me. Isn't Yu-Gi-Oh the gift that keeps on giving? Yeah, it's like Sasuke Samurai 2 on steroids. This card looks really cool. Also has a really cool like ulti. What is the TLDR of this card? It's a level 5 1500 attack dragon. It's normal summon, depending on each one gets in your graveyard. I guess this is the boss monster of the bunch. It gains the graveyard when this effect. One of the following effects do not accumulate. Okay, so you pick one. Wait, hold on. Was normal summon, it gets one of the following effects. Create all Divine Dragon's F, but it's such cool art. One of the following effects for each Excellion in your graveyard when this effect resolves. Your choice. Okay. Okay, so is it saying that like if more are added to the graveyard, you don't get more? So you can't pick like you can't. Yeah, you can't double up on them. But I think what it's saying is that like if should one get sent to the graveyard like at a future point, it does not like gain the other one. Um, it gets an attack buff to 25. That's good for a one tribute monster. Um, double attack, and then it does burn damage. It can be out by Mass Dragon. It can be brought out. It can be searched easily. Sangan. Okay, so you can pick up to. How do you get this? How do you get his third effect? Because you can only have two in the graveyard. You don't? What do you mean you don't? The why does it even have the option for a third effect? Oh, you pick two. Oh, one of the following. Okay, so it's not like one, two. Okay, so it's not like Rainbow City. Okay. Okay. This seems pretty fun. This seems pretty fun. Okay. I kind of like this card. Now, obviously, I don't think this thing ever sees play because, yeah, you do need. It's a tribute monster. You need stuff in the graveyard. It does have like downsides, but if you could pick like two of any of the three, like, they're all good effects. Yeah, but no one's really playing the junior rule. Say normal summon instead of tribute summon. Even still, you rated C. I'm thinking B. I'm thinking B. I did they stop the genie rules at some point, or am I thinking of something else? I'm thinking B. Lo-Fi kills it for me. I love frogs and monarchs. Yeah, before Master Rule. This is a C. You're all saying C? If you don't have Gravesept, just. But, like, that's the thing with all these monsters, though. They all have the same shtick. Like, you know, you need one in the graveyard. Everyone's saying C. Oh my gosh, I'm horribly outvoted here. I would have gave this guy a B because he's my friend. We went to Prague together. This one's harder to summon. That's fair. I feel like even still, but okay, you know, Jandro of the people, you all voted. Um, the once banned non-banned card. So use meta on Bubble Man, which is a really interesting thing that I'm surprised they never did anything else with. Right, like cards that like have technically different applications for like some other monster. It's Bubble Man on the field, and it destroys stuff in battles. Otherwise, it's just like a hard brick. And it has to be like in your hand. We should get Neo Claim, man. What does Neo Bubble do? It basically it destroys opponent's monsters of battle this at the end of the damage step. So you know, I guess it gets that effect, but it's such a weird, dumb thing to summon with like the same stats just to potentially destroy a card. Like you could use, yeah, this is like maybe you can make an argument that N on his belt he should be called like Nubble Man or something with his nubs. End the battle not before, so like he'd still be destroyed. Which he probably would be. And then you're out of Bubble Man, you're out of Metamorphosis, and you're out of Tears. You know, interesting end of the world, you have to equal the levels. I just noticed that. You can't exceed. Yeah, well, yeah, thanks, Konami. It was like pseudo ban, wasn't because of a metamorphosis. Full salvo. Actually, I kind of prefer the TCG art over the OCG for this one. There are some cards I do prefer the TCG art. I think having like little faces and like it's being red is kind of more fun. After the activation of this card, send your entire hand to the graveyard for 200 for each card you sent. Is this Infernity support? What was this card from the last set that had like? No, I'm thinking of the cyber cards from Cybernetic Revolution. Goes -5 for 1,000 damage. Like you're not gonna play this in Infernity. Like who are you kidding? Blasting the ruins. Like I love blasting the ruins. I'm sure there's better ways to play that though. Oja Magic. Are you thinking D or F? Because I do think, like, yeah, you technically can do stuff with this. This is just worse sparks. Morphing jar. This is the worst sparks. This literally makes one of the cards in the game. Okay, I'm feeling like I'm feeling the passion behind it. I think I could hear argument for higher. I don't know if I go that far, but I'm just trying to say, like, theoretically, you could something. Goblin out of the frying pan. Pay 500 life points, negate a spell card, return it to the hand. And then your opponent could, like, just reuse it. Because there's no activation limits on spell cards. This feels like another F. Like, what's it doing? Because it's not like something like Red Reboot's good, But that's so specific. Like what are we? Just run a Magic Jammer. I don't know. Run Magic. Like, if you don't want to run Magic Jammer, run Magic Drain. We'll save those for last. Hero Heart. Yeah, there's plenty of better anti-spell cards. Select one face-up monster inside the field includes E-Hero in its name. It can attack as halved, but it can attack twice. Am I hearing Robin Goblin plays? I'm thinking probably D. Like, it's not good, but it technically doesn't have, like, a disadvantage to it, right? It's half, but you at least can attack twice, which, I don't know. Although I guess the argument is that if you're attacking twice, you're essentially doing the same amount of damage. Right? So damage, it really isn't a factor here. It's more about, like, some... God, Wikipedia is such a bad website. The Ice Edge, Pop, Spell Traps, Voltic, especially some of the banishment stuff. Okay, I guess, yeah, you can... I think it's a C at least? I still don't know. I mean, the only one of those it might be, like, running in a hero deck, might be like Voltic. If you want to get, something out. I think so. Like, it still feels like a generally bad card. Because I feel like even if you just get, like, the one attack in, you're probably getting enough advantage with that without having to run Hero Heart. Like, even if we, like, factor in Nova Mass or Voltic, like, I'm feeling the... Just again to just rephrase, just because it's nothing to deal with damage, like, it has to do with the effect, and even with the effects, it feels like it's probably not worth it, given that the effects are enough on their own. You'd rather just run a better card. Hero Kid, special summon many hero kids from your deck. B? Hero B Kid? Hero be kidding me. Is what you're about to say. This is stupid and has been miraculously not used. Rank 2 decks. Did this thing see play? When? I'm surprised we've had so much discussion on Shadow Infinity, by the way. I think when I did years ago when I did the month of GX, I had that Phantom Darkness video, and I'm like, "Fucking Shadow Infinity is a terrible set. Why is there no one looking at this?" Now we're looking at this. I'm like, "Shit, this might be the best one yet." I assume by now that anything else special summon copies is decent, but generally it's like, at least in like the Link era, we're talking like Vrains is generally token generators, right? Like Grinder Golem, Scapegoat, Phantom Sky Blaster, Galaxy Tomahawk, like that kind of stuff. Um, Honestly, even after doing the history of Yu-Gi-Oh, that like early 2010 period is such a blind spot for me. Like in my head, it goes from like 2010, 2011, and then like 2015. Okay, okay, I'll put it in C. I'll put it in C. Ronnie Captain triggers it. I feel like it's a kind of card that we haven't really seen much results from, but I could see it being fairly usable. Karma Cut. This one's probably A. Discard a card. Remove play one monster on the field on your opponent's side. This one in your same name in your graveyard. And their graveyard is also removed from play. Yeah, this is like one of the more. I could even hear an argument for S. I don't know if it's seen like meta play sense, but I want to say it maybe. At least an A. Like it is like a general like real nutty card. It's gonna be a B for me. Pro Cyber Dragon Chimera Tech. Okay, well, Chimera Tech isn't in this. Proto we gave a C because it's just it's designed what it's designed to do. Not much more, not much less. Because it's let me see. Um what is the art of this? It looks like was it Warrior from the Wasteland? Something like that. I want to say it's from Cybernetic Revolution. Like Lady Warrior from the Wasteland. No. I think it's in Cybernetic Revolution. On. Not that, like the following set. I'm sure there's a faster way to look this up, but. Or maybe it's like Flaming Eternity. It might be Flaming Eternity. Or Lost Millennium. It's one of these sets. Warrior Lady of the Wasteland. Oh, it's from Warrior's Triumph Structure deck. November 2005. Warrior Lady of the Wasteland. Because I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to think of like if this card like came up, like comes up now and again. You know, kind of like Dimension Barrier or Dimensional Barrier does. Um, yeah, I can't really see. We'll have it in A. We'll leave it in A. It's like I'm not seeing enough arguments for an S tier. I think it's something I might have to like look more into. Machine King Prototype. Increase the attack and defense of this card by 100 for each machine on the field other than this card. Why does it have to be other than this card? Normal Machine King didn't have that. I guess it's because it's a prototype. I guess you would want to do like some sort of DNA surgery because you're not like having this in the side for a machine. You know, I guess like a machine deck, right? Gadgets or whatever. And even that, like 4 only for 2K. Yeah, this feels like a D. It's just like a bad beater at best. I think it's at least a B. They're just better machines. Like in an era where like Cyber Dragon's kind of around, can you use Gravity Bind Area B? I guess. I mean, do y'all want to bump it up to a C? It does have like decent defense. Could be a C. All right, I'll settle with C. Malfunction. Pay 500 life points. Is worse than Grass Phantom. At least Grass Phantom can become like a 2K beater, like with its own like gimmick. But even still, it's on the same tier as C. So, not saying it's better or worse. Just they're on the same tier. Malfunction. Pay 500 life points. Negate the activation of a trap card and returns to original position. It's technically better than Goblin out of the Frying Pan because you can't like reactivate a trap card. So it does technically slow it down. Which is like kind of like how like Scrap Iron Scarecrow, you know, functions. You know, obviously we get benefit when Red Reboot comes out because that's just like a superior version of it. I'd rather pay 1,000. I'm hearing something. We're definitely a little long. Red Reboot at home. Temple Kings makes that useless. Yeah. Malice Ascendant. This is really cool art, but he's holding the scythe. Like I don't know what to do with these. He's like I can't use both of these. Like what do you want me to do? When this card's on the field, your opponent's standby, send a number of cards from the top of your opponent's deck to the graveyard number 2 of Mouse. Again, another one of these. Another one of these. So this one just mills. Oh, he has legs. Hold on, look, he's got little legs. I thought he was floating. He's got legs. They're like half invisible. I don't think it's absolutely terrible. Like, it's not good because it has really bad stats. Potentially a free mill 2. It's it's Timu Don Zalug. Could be buffed. Yeah, I'm going to give it a D. If it had better stats, it'd be a lot better. Like if it had 1,700 attack, different story. but it's not an F. But I don't think it's a C. I think it does ask for a lot just for like a milling effect, which isn't bad, but I think for that you need something a little bit better. Memory Crusher. If it attacks your opponent's LP, if it attacks your opponent's life points directly, yeah, automatic B. Yeah, it'd be up with our Forbidden Spell bro. Someone's being loud tonight. Attacks your opponent's LP directly, inflict damage to their LP equal to the number of cards in your opponent's fusion deck times 100. 1,500 burn damage. Let's go. Maybe more, because in this time it's unlimited fusion deck, isn't it? Oh no, I'm playing 8,000 fusion cards. Ah, I'm screwed. This got banned from online tournaments from IGO Discord. That's hilarious. You need to start making videos. Tell him to stop going to college. Potential infinite before the limiting of the extra deck. This is like it's see. Obviously, like modern play, it's with like a limited extra deck, it's not like the worst. You can't actually count how many cards opponents can have because fusion deck is infinite. Yeah, like an online. So obviously, like in like IRL, right? You can be like, this is my extra deck. But I'm imagining there's like at some locals or something, some dude like legit has like a bag full of this, and he just like, it's like that picture of the people with the the biggest deck, that made Konami, put a deck limit, but with like a fusion deck. Yeah, I'm feeling C. I think in a vacuum, it was like the silliest card. Miracle Kids. Decrease the attack of one of your opponent's monsters by 400 for each hero card in your graveyard until the end phase. So potentially up to 1,200. Yeah, because Synchros, that like master rule or whatever, introduced the limit because now it's fusion deck to extra deck, and they just like they put a cap on it. Everything's nice and tight, like a Toiger. Miracle Kids, this seems pretty bad, right? I think generally like attack. It'd be one thing if it was like a permanent thing, but usually like lowering attack is just kind of worse than just increasing your own monster's attack. Especially that you need 3 cards in the graveyard, and it's a trap to use it. Not using Miracles or Rush recklessly. Yeah, this feels really bad. Like it's asking a lot for a relative small amount. Next we got that. Also, good art by the way. Option Hunter, cool art again. Is this Gradius like stuff? It's worse than Full South. You can only activate this card when a monster on your side of the field is destroyed as a result of battle and sent to the graveyard. Increase your LP by the original attack of a destroyed monster. Okay, so you get attack or you get life points from a destroyed monster. Nah. I mean, I guess it technically gives you some semblance of a benefit, maybe ever so slightly. Technically not bad, but we got Draining Shield and Javelin. Yeah, that's the first thing I was thinking was like Enchanted Javelin. It's like obviously there's just way better cards since the dawn of the TCG. Waboku. I'm feeling D. It's not like inherently bad, but it's vastly just outweighed by like a ton of cards. You're saying F? Are we thinking F for this thing? This is not F. Yeah, I'm not feeling like F just because it doesn't. There's no like downside to it, right? Like it doesn't really, it doesn't necessarily cost anything aside from monster being destroyed, but that's the whole idea of the card. I don't know. Major downside. I mean, like the downside's like it's there's better cards. Hey, Sinobos, what's up? Come back to that fusion deck damage guy. It insta wins versus Jaden. Jaden would be screwed. Not even the lucky egg sandwich would save him. There's no real upside. I mean, I guess technically the upside is that you gain life points, but that's it. So it's like it's a very general card. So I can't say F just for like a general effect. Parasitic Ticky. Tick 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 ticky. Increase the attack and defense of this card. The attack and defense of this card are equal to the number of tokens on the field times 500. So scapegoats, the 5 monsters on the field, 4 scapegoat. It's 2K. Potentially more if you have like Ojama Trio. But you gotta get a lot of stuff for this thing to get high attack. This seems like another pretty bad card. This seems like another D. I'm feeling D. Avira, get out of here. My computer randomly has like will have like a full screen like Avira pop up even though I keep telling it to stop. Opti camouflage armor attack directly. I don't know, even yeah, I don't know. This feels pretty bad. Because like tokens are already like finicky like in their own way in terms of like you're running them for very specific reasons, and none of them are for parasitic Tiki. Right? Gives me the ick. I do like the coloring on it. I think like the use of like the shades of white and like the lighting is nice. Yeah, it's a card you build around, but it's still you got to build a lot around it. Phantasmal Mark. Okay, we're gonna do all this stuff at the end. Yeah, you're talking about Pro Cyber Dragon, which we did discuss. That was it is what it is. Silent Insect, kind of cool art. This card is changed to defense position when it's normal summoned. Doesn't really matter because its stats suck, which I guess is I guess not a that technically is a positive because of that. While this face-up card is on the field, negate the effects of all continuous spells, continuous trap cards. That's a little interesting. I like that it has built-in protection in terms of it just moving to defense position. It feels like a lot of cards are like it's got to be an attack position, and just negate stuff, which might help you for a turn to do something. This feels like a C. I can't see this thing be any higher, but you might give you like one turn to do stuff. Insectaristic. I love it, but I hate it at the same time. Insectaristic. Insectaristic. That feels like something some like side character in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX would say, like, I summon a silent insect in attack mode, but of course when it's summoned, it's moved to defense position. Oh, watch out, Jaden! That card looks rather insectaristing! You just got my fanned up right there. This could actually be a side deck card. There's another card that like someone was playing. It was like Kai, man, something like it stops like not Ghost Destroyer, but something like that. But yeah, this seems like a pretty interesting card. I think obviously the big problem is that it needs high defense. Like even like 1300 defense would be like, way better. The fact that it's continuous spells and traps moves it. I think this is like a pretty forward design card, and I like it. I mean, Jinzo would be bad if it only affected continuous traps. Yeah, and this is clearly like something side deck for, but it does cover a lot though, at the very least. I mean, Jinzo doesn't cover any spells. Think about that. Think about that. Have you thought about that? Success probability 0% is what I would say for anything in the F tier. Send 2 random fusion monsters from the opponent's fusion deck to the graveyard. Now, if this wasn't random, this would be way better. Especially given that, as we've mentioned, fusion deck at this time, infinite. This makes sense why this would be banned online. Hard F. Yeah, I think if it wasn't random, that would definitely save the card, but just 2 random stuff. Yeah, this feels really bad. This feels really bad because like you don't know what you're gonna hit. You might not know if you want to hit anything, right? So theoretically, if you sided in this, maybe hit something that you want, right? If you're playing against like heroes, maybe you hit Thunder Giant, for example, but maybe you don't. Especially in a 15 card. Hey, what's up, CS? But it's random though, so it's you don't get a look at their deck. I guess in like Edison, yeah. I suppose in like something like Edison where everyone's running like 2 Chimera techs. Is that how that would work? Like they're like, hey, these are like my fusion cards. Let me look up something here. Is that how that card works? Looking at opponent's stuff. You got to confirm extra deck. Interesting. Okay, this thing is becoming way more interesting. More we're looking at it. You're on Wikipedia? Is that in rulings? This card can be used to see the content of the opponent's extra deck. The opponent has less than 2 fusion monsters in it. Okay, so yeah, if they're like, hey, this is like, because this needs to be 2, right? You can't have like less than 2. So I guess like in like a synchro era metagame or like metagame beyond, where like you might not be running that. It either like completely destroys like rips apart their fusion strategy potentially, uh, or you can see their extra deck for whatever reason. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna give this a D. I was originally like definitely on board with F. But it does seem like there are technically like there are real fringe things you can do with this. Yeah, just because you can look doesn't mean like it's like I don't know the what's that card, the inexperienced spy. Like knowledge is good, but usually like more for the hand. Um, okay, chat. Are we thinking D or F? What are we thinking? I could see an argument for both. I think it's an F. Can't see the entire extra deck. I mean, in like the fusionary, you probably can go with F. If it's kind of niche, it's a really good F card. I think that is a reasonable argument. It's a really good F card. I can't it has the concept to be better, right? Even if it was just like up to 2. Because at least then you can at least maybe get 1 card. And if it was, gosh, if it wasn't random, this thing would move up way much if it wasn't random. It was like probably 50%. Super Junior Confrontation. You can only activate this card when your opponent's monster declares an attack. Negate the battle, and 1 monster with the lowest attack and face-up attack position on your opponent's side of the field battles against monster lowest defense and face-up defense position on your side of the field. After that battle ends, end the battle phase. What? Excuse me? So it makes their lowest attack monster battle your lowest defense monster, then it ends. I guess it ends an attack, makes like a weird attack, and then just ends the battle phase. So it's interesting work around that. The artwork is like, this feels like artwork you see in like Magician's Force. Decoy Dragon support. What does Decoy Dragon do again? I know I have Decoy Dragon. If it's target for an attack, special summons a high level dragon in your graveyard and changes to that. Oh, that's great. I mean, if you only have like 1 monster, it's like it kind of forces that. You know, I think just for that, I'll give it a D. I don't think it's a C. I really don't think it's a C, but I think D is fair. Because like if you only have 1 monster on the field, like their lowest attack, you have to attack that regardless. And then just ends the battle phase. Like they can't even like do anything after that, which is a little nice. It's a complicated card, but I see what they're getting at. Symbol of Heritage. Did I not fix the art on this one? Okay. I usually edit my cards so they actually look nice, not like weird prints. You can activate this card while there are 3 monster cards the same name in your graveyard. Wow. I wonder what cards work with this. Select one of those monsters, especially when you start the field, equip with this card. It's the first equipped monster. So it's just a monster reborn, basically. You can use Harpies and Cyber Dragons. You can use this on our Forbidden Spell guy. Or with the Divine Dragon. Yeah, it should work with Harpies, the Cyber Dragons. A or S? I know people like play this like once in a while. Like I would say A or B. I don't know if I'd say S. I feel like if it was S, then like we gotta move like some of these other cards up. You know what I mean? It's a specific Prima. It's a legal Prima in a sense. Did it get limited? It was limited. April 15 to March 21. What was it limited for? I'm trying to... Because April 15, that would have been... Was that like... right before Pendulums. Would that have been like around like hat? No, hat format was 2014. So April was. Ah! Clown format was like the fall, and then it was like Necros before that. And what was before that? Okay, well I think because it was something that was like on the list, that's usually a free pass. Um, just gonna look at a couple other cards real quick. You know, Demise was limited as well. Interesting. And semi-limited. I don't think anything else was. I don't think anything else was. No, okay. Nothing that like I probably would have noticed. Interesting. Yeah, lone fire loops. Yeah. That'll do it. Tenkabito Shien. It's unaffected by trap cards. You can get this out with UFO Turtle. I guess it's good for like Pyro. That thing that hides in the crater. Looks like a warrior, but I guess it's not, so it doesn't get that benefit. Wildheart without hero support. Or like Rhoda. I mean, I guess having something for Pyro stuff is kind of nice. But like who's running Pyro Toolbox? Who's running an oven deck? I guess it's like this feels like a de facto C tier card. Like it's just very basic design. Hey, Fighting Gamer, what's up? Your videos have inspired my friends and I to make draft tools. Nice. I like to try and draft tool. I did like an open boxing once. Trying to just like split a thing, but be gone, knave. The art's like ah. Let's hope you have fun doing your draft tools, just like general draft stuff. Unit TT, yeah, Ring of Destruction, if that's legal. Hero Barrier, forget about it. All right, say the best for last. Gosh, we are streaming late tonight. Holy moly! Did you watch Andrew Dice Clay? And then I activate Phantasmal Martyr's bow. Funniest thing. Basically, Wild with the archetype. Phantasmal Martyrs. You can activate this card when you have two or more cards in your hand and have either Uriah Haman or Haman on your side of the field by sending your entire hand to the graveyard. So minimum 2. Special 3 Phantasmal Martyr tokens, type position. So basically, it's made to summon Raviel. But then if you have to discard your hand, then you wouldn't have it in your hand? Am I interpreting this correctly? Uriah is really cool. I really like the Sacred Beasts. I feel like I mentioned this in like multiple videos by this point. But like when this set came out, it was like, because they're obviously kind of like weird dark versions of the Egyptian god cards, more or less. And they're supposed to, kind of look like them. So it was like the god cards weren't playable. Like we got I think 2 of them by this point that were just like the colored versions. So this is like having playable god cards, which is really cool. But of course, they were high rarity, so no one had them. I like the idea of it having a good way because Raviel is the most annoying one to summon out. but discarding your whole hand, and also like then how you're getting Raviel. This seems this seems deceptively bad, right? Deceptively bad. Phantom Skyblaster would have been Duelist Pack Aster? Duelist Pack Jesse? It was Duelist Pack Jesse in 2008, so not quite yet. We got another like 2 years to go. I think I'm like pretty not on point, but I feel like I'm pretty good with like nailing down some of these sets tonight. Anyway, except for like Warrior Lady of the Wasteland. Gold Sark wouldn't have been out yet because that's 2007. Bound Box is basically Rockstar Robots deck. I never really got into Battle and Boxers. I mean, I guess you could do like different dimension capsule. I think Gold Sark was 2007. Yeah, 2007. Whenever a card says discard two, it better be winning you the game. Yeah, yeah. It feels like it needed something where it's like discard your hand minimum whatever, two, let's say two, but then you can add Raviel. Even like during your end phase would have been something, my dudes. Yeah, I don't. Is this F? Is this D or F? It is searchable with modern stuff. If I look up Sacred Beast deck 2025, what comes up? Not this card. Yeah, because they have like the like Dark Beckoning Beast, Dark Summoning Beast. Um, if they have other cards like get this stuff out. Like I don't think they'd be running Phantasmal Martyrs. What happened to Janjo region? I was actually looking at that channel today. I'm like 5 months ago. Yeah, it's still like linked. I'll try to ignore Raviel entirely. Tokens link climb, but also like you need cards in your hand. You need one of the Sacred Beasts on the field, and it discards your hand. It doesn't search out Raviel. Yeah, this kind of feels like an F. Janjo yeah, I was looking. I'm like 5 months ago was the last time I uploaded. Goodness. I think at the start of the year I was like, I'm gonna try and do like once a month. That never happened. I think part of it is due to one, I've got all the Patreon exclusives that I've been making. Um, and also it's like I usually go towards that if I'm like a little burned out on Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. I'm like, oh, I should do Pokemon. Also, doesn't help that I haven't really. I started when I was playing Pokemon a little bit more, and I kind of like stopped doing that because I have like one friend that does, and we haven't played in like a while. I would like to make more stuff for it. It's just I only got so much time. Work's been really busy this year, surprisingly. It's only this like past week I've actually like made good progress on like Yu-Gi-Oh, like Janjo stuff, uh, like Janjo Zone related stuff. Cause like I'm falling behind a little bit. Uh, like I'm like I have to write the scripts, I have to research them, edit them, record like all that stuff. Uh, so when it has extra time to do like Pokemon stuff on the Janjo regions, like I don't get a ton of time to do that much stuff. But it's not dead. But I don't know when I'm gonna make the next video for that. I mean, I do have ideas for like what I would want to do anyway. So it's it's not like I'm out of ideas or anything like that for it. Like not at all. Um, I guess let's do. Gee, let's go down alphabetical order. Haman, Lord of Striking Thunder. He's special summoned by sending through continuous spell cards. It destroys monsters resolved by battle, inflicts 1,000 damage. When this card is in face-up defense position, your opponent cannot select another monster as attack target. 4K, 4K. You can play it in Sacred Beast decks. It's also notable for being played in Crystal Beast decks, because the crystallized beasts are considered continuous spell cards. I think this is like, I think the fact that like Crystal Beast can run it and it does, already have like good stats. It's decent in a bubble, I guess. I would say. Are you the Janjo region champ? Sure. Sure, I guess. I do want to stream a Pokemon game at some point, though. And the Crystal Beast boss monsters for a little bit. Yeah, and it has like modern support. Like you'd play all three, like the modern stuff. I'm pretty sure. And they also have like their own like spell cards and stuff. Yeah, which applies to all of them. I'm feeling B because like it's good for like the stuff it's in. Uh, Ravael might be like the tricky one for me, or A. Uh, I could hear an argument for either or. Raviel, I think, is the worst of the three though, because Fiend Monsters is a bit tougher to do. Obviously, with like modern support, it's a little bit easier now. But for a long time, didn't really get that luxury. Special summons a relatively weak token that can't attack, but then you tribute it to increase this thing by to 5k to the end of the turn, which is good punch. I forgot when I started playing Crystal Beast, they talk about him on the Pojo forums. Yeah, no, Crystal. I'm a big Crystal Beast fan. I have a deck. Shoutouts to Neshi. Doesn't make content nowadays. Konami has yet to acknowledge Contra as a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Contra. Or I would have to be C. Yeah, I think Raviel is definitely the worst of the bunch. It's not like C tier kind of fits like it is what it is, for better or worse. Uriah, I think, is arguably more interesting, because it's 3 face-up trap cards, continuous traps basically, and then increase 1,000 for each one in your graveyard, and then you can destroy one set or spell card your opponent's side of the field once per turn, and your opponent cannot respond to that, which is kind of nice. I think what makes this interesting is that you can build more decks around Uriah. They're pretty fun. And I think for that, whereas like Hamon's kind of like, it's just like an extra card like in a deck. I think whereas Uriah you can actually like, do stuff with, I would say it's A. So I think this would be fair for that would be like A, B, C. If we're like ranking all of them, because I don't think they're all made equal. I don't. But to my surprise, Shadow of Infinity is a very balanced set. Look at this. This might be the most balanced set we've seen. I mean, S tier is like pretty lacking. I forgot how to use Ravio without Phantom Sky Blaster. You don't. A DNA surgery, I guess. Yeah, Karibo multiply. Uriah's AT. Yeah, I think I'm happy with this. I think I'm happy with this. Surprisingly pretty spread out. And I think for Series 4, Just one more set for Series 4, and then so next week we'll do Enemy of Justice. And then the following week we'll do like the full Series 4 ranking. I'm real curious on this set. Hey, Tripper Dasker for the $5 dono. Thank you so much. You are the dude. You are the duelist. You are the man. Oh my gosh, and I didn't even set up a new goal yet. I mean, technically speaking, the goal was last month, which we only have the $5, so I extended to this month. But if you want to consider it starting at the 0 mark into this month, then if I go, will the thing pop up if I go back here? I don't know. I think I only have it set up in like the cam and screen thing I have. Basically put A tier cards and other, yeah, like things like, you know, if you compare and contrast, things might be like moved around. I think Raviel, like monsters make sense, but it, you know, again, given like the specifics, like I get why they did what they did. But yeah, we're gonna at some point I got a win thing, but I gotta order some cards from Japan first. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna call it 2. Went way longer than I thought, but it's been a fun night. Fun stream, surprising night, honestly. But next week we're gonna talk about Enemy of Justice. Same J&Jo time, same J&Jo place. So hopefully I'll see you all there, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And you know, don't do anything I wouldn't do. And now's the time to cry. We did have cards to argue, and I always prefer that because like previous stream was like bam, 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 Bigelow. Not this stream. All right, I'm gonna peace out. So take care, have a nice day, and duel on, passionate duelists.